Hey, Hugh here. Welcome to the video. In this video, I want to talk about how you can start stacking monthly recurring revenue as a coach or consultant, and really the importance of that as well. So I want to rewind a few years to 2018. It was the year that I quit working for an agency, and I had a decent job in Melbourne in Australia. I was working for a previous business mentor of mine, and we were doing a lot for clients. It was kind of a mastermind agency hybrid model, and we were running clients' ads. So I was responsible for running over, I think at one time I was running 350 accounts. So managing 350 ad accounts, which was pretty crazy actually looking back at it. Doing sales, helping with some of the internal stuff, and also coaching clients at kind of business coaching. And when I left that, I launched my own coaching program, like a business coaching program. And, we did pretty well, sold out the spaces. I think there was 15 spaces when we launched it. And it was a set 12-week program. And it seemed great at first. Launched it, got 15 people in. I think it was 2000 USD at the time. So had a really good few weeks. I was like, this is great. This is amazing. But then reality caught up with me because, whilst I may have increased cash flow quickly, rather than kind of keep things rolling and using that momentum, I was now focused on coaching those clients, and I let the ball slip. I stopped marketing, I stopped pushing myself out there. And the reality is, like, those 15 clients were very warm. They were people that had followed me for a long time. Some had worked with me in the past, and they knew my stuff. They knew kind of what I was about, and I built relationships with those people. So those 15 sales came really easily. Now, what happened after that is I didn't market, and that cash flow dried up because, they were all one-time sales. They weren't retainer clients. And, some people got amazing results. There was a few people that just dropped off. They didn't do the work and they just disappeared off the face of the earth, which was kind of annoying, but, that happens sometimes. And then I was left 2 months down the line. I was like, oh man, like I don't have any cash flow left. I need to get some more sales, but I've still got a few more weeks left of this program that I've kind of running live with people. And it was like a group program, but I was also doing one-to-ones with people as well. So it was pretty intense, the time commitment. And then I found myself in like a bit of a tricky situation because I was kind of, I was trying to get people into this program and pre-sell the next launch, but because I had basically rinsed my warm audience to get people into that first one, there wasn't many people putting their hand up for the second one. And so I started running ads, and I got a few people in for the next round. And, I charged the same amount as $2,000 USD for 12 weeks. And I think we had like 3 or 4 people come through that one. But that was running paid ads as well. So the profit was lower, and that definitely was not enough to stay afloat for 12 weeks. And so what happened was I naturally had a few people from the first cohort, and a couple other people in my network work with me one-on-one, running ads. I would run ads for them, and it was a retainer, and I wasn't charging a lot of the time. I think I was charging $1,000 a month. And then over the course of the next few weeks, like I didn't make any more sales for the coaching program, and it was the retainers that kept me afloat. If I hadn't had those retainers, I literally would not have had any money. My cash flow situation at the time, prior to launching that was really bad. I was living in a very expensive place in Australia. I'd had quite a few debts that I'd kind of just cleared. So I was literally like, I wasn't negative anymore, but I was at zero. I had no savings. And so I needed quite a lot of cash flow to keep me afloat and just to stay in the country. I was paying quite a lot in visa fees and things like that. And rent wasn't cheap. So it was a pretty stressful time. And so those retainers actually kept me afloat. And I didn't really think too much about it at the time. I kind of used them just to try and like sustain what I was doing with the goal of building back up. So I had cash flow to reinvest in ads to get the coaching program going. And here and there, I would coach people one-to-one because I wasn't getting enough lead flow to launch a group again. And it was the same thing every time. It was like I'd coach people one-to-one or whatever it was, and 12 weeks would go by. They spent $2,000 for it, and it worked out that it wasn't as profitable as when I was kind of doing retainer stuff, especially done for you stuff. Even though I was undercharging for it, like the workload was fairly similar. When I was running ads for people, they were getting better results, and it was easier to work with them, and they'd stay on much longer. And so I ended up shifting into running an agency. I wasn't going to do that to begin with, but I just kind of followed my skill set, and I had some referrals, got brought on some projects as a freelancer, and just ended up stacking the monthly recurring. And so that has always kept me afloat for like the last 5 years. I've always had clients paying retainers, and over the years what I've learned to do is work with higher level clients. And I've obviously upskilled myself massively over the years, worked with a lot of different mentors so I can just get better at my skill of media buying, copywriting, understanding sales and offer writing, and everything else kind of related to that, and content and things like that on the back end. So I've able to work with higher level clients, and it's kind of like as I've started working with higher level clients, I'd get referred to higher level clients. And last year, kind of signed the first 8-figure client, which was cool. Worked with a couple dozen 7-figure clients over the years, and most of our client base now is either high 6 figures or 7 figures. So things have leveled up over the years. I'm able to charge a lot more for what I do, work with higher level people, which those two obviously coincide with each other. You can't really just charge loads to somebody who has no money and they're starting out. So it makes sense that obviously as you work with higher level people and you upskill yourself, then you can charge more for your services as well. But if you want to start really making a difference in your business, whatever level you're at, if you are helping somebody get a business result, you're a business coach or consultant, then I would look at how you shift your model into a recurring model. So rather than trying to sell like a 12-week program or a 16-week program, I would look at positioning it as an ongoing agreement. And it's not to say that you don't have an initial goal you set with people. I think when you're writing an offer, especially, it is good to talk about a time frame. It's like what we'll do in the next 90 days. If you still work towards that goal together, that's really important. But when you're selling the program or selling the service, you want to think about the positioning of it. You're not just like, hey, it's 90 days, it's $5,000, and then it's see you later. It's like, look, we're going to work towards this in the next 90 days, but really this is just the starting point. And then we're going to go from there. And you can even, you can still charge up front if you want to, but you could break it down into a monthly payment. I generally like to do that anyway, because it manages cash flow better than just having a big cash influx and then having nothing for months on end, which, as I said previously, is a little bit stressful. It's much easier just to manage when you've just got a set amount coming in each month. And obviously, as you continue to make more sales, or if you're like myself, where I kind of have like a retainer and a performance model, then as clients perform better, I get a higher retainer based on that, because it's a performance fee. So what I'm saying is, if you right now are in a fixed kind of offer and you're just working with people for a set amount of time, like look at how you can open the gate to work with people long term, whether that's one-to-one or whether you have a mastermind or a group coaching program. Like the reality is, like, people, especially in business, need ongoing support. Like, I'm never not working with a mentor. Like over the years, I've worked with several different mentors and been in different masterminds and coaching programs, but I'm always investing in programs because I understand the value of having like that external support and being around like a group of other, entrepreneurs who are doing well themselves. Like for me, like my local network here, like I'm not hanging out with high level entrepreneurs, which is okay. But that's why I invest in things like business masterminds, because I'm then surrounded by people who are, either like kind of at a similar level to me, or, they're making 7 figures or multiple 7 figures. And that's great. Like it's really, it's good having feedback from other people like that, and that support, that accountability, and that inspiration as well. So make sure that you look at how you can shift into a recurring model, because it is going to not just make your business better in terms of like cash flow, but it's just going to make your life a lot less stressful when you know that you're not having to start every month from zero. Like that was the biggest turning point for me. Like every month where I'm like, it doesn't matter how good the last month was, like starting from zero is really stressful. If every single month you feel like that, then for me, that is a flawed model. And you look at the most successful businesses in the world, Amazon, Netflix, like all these businesses revolve around recurring payments from people, return customers or recurring payments on memberships. And so I think really like you want to model that in the best way possible. And so if you plug this into your business, it's going to allow you to just compound over time. If you sign 3 clients one month and they're paying you $1,000 or $2,000 a month, that's great. But that compounds into the next month. And if you sign another 3 clients, that compounds into the next month as well. The big caveat here, which I think is important as well, is that it is going to put the ball in your court for controlling cash flow, because it's down to you to get results with clients. And I think that's important. I think that's a good thing, because if you're dropping clients after a month and no one's staying on review and you're saying, oh, this business model is flawed, it's not the business model. It's the fact that you're not getting results with clients and you're not providing the service required for them to stay on. And that's a good reality check for people, because there's enough people in this industry who promise the world and underdeliver. And you want to be the person that over-delivers. You want to be the person that does everything they can to retain clients and maintain relationships with people so that they stay with you long term. You know, some of the clients I've worked with for 5 years now. Some of them have kind of gone away for time periods where they've been working on different things and they've come back. But some of the clients now I worked with 5 years ago. And that's just because they're able to get results and maintain good relationships with them. So, you know, rather than kind of just chasing new clients all the time, and like for you to improve month on month, like that model is just requiring you to just do more and more and more and more. It's very stressful. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill all the time. You just want to be looking at how you can stack clients in a healthy and, you know, leveraged way. And I think this is like the key to it, starting with an offer that is based on building retainers and relationships versus the kind of like traditional churn and burn model that a lot of people have been taught, myself included, you know, over the years. And so hopefully this was useful for you. If you did find it useful, make sure to hit like, leave a comment if you have any questions on this, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I'll see you on the next one.